Hello everyone and welcome to the stream. This is Otaku Showboat and today is Thursday, February 25th, 2021. It is a sleepy Thursday. Yes, that's my dolly. That's my sleepy dolly on the back of the chair with that little paw. Yeah, she's a pretty girl. And then right next to me is Ollie. He's on the towel on the desk next to me. Yes, that's my pretty boy next to me and my pretty girl behind me. Oh boy, so I have not done anything off screen for the Factorio playthrough thus far. We are going to be getting right into it. Today is a very sleepy day. I've already had over half of my coffee, of my second cup of coffee, and I'm realizing that today is the day that I am beginning my fresh container of coffee, and it's transitioning from dark roast to medium roast, meaning that I'm not going to feel so great. I'm going to be feeling very tired, just in the difference in the caffeine level between the dark and the medium roast of the coffee. Oh well, if I need a full strength booster, and after this stream, I will be sure to do so. Last time we met, I set up the fueling station as well as the iron plate and copper plate trains. I believe that I need to go and get more train cargo wagons. Hello, Ave, and welcome here at the beginning of the stream. We've got a pretty dolly. We've got a very pretty dolly sitting right behind me. Yes. Yes, dolly, show your chinny chin. Show that chin. Upside down head there. Let's get more. More things. All of those things. Give me more at a time. All of these wonderful things. What else do I need? What else shall I desire? Let's go ahead and stick with that for now. I have updated the plan. I do need to tap into more resources. Same as always. I'm carrying around a few of these. Not gonna hurt to carry around even more of these. So let's carry around even more. And I need more mining drills, of course. Of course I need more mining drills, meaning I have to cross the horn that I have built myself over here. Because the mining drill's way over here. Why, hello. Glorious. And we'll get more belts, more undergrounds, more splitters, just more stuff. More stuff to eat up my inventory space. Yeah. Yeah, I'm totally converting a whole freaking iron belt. Wait. But really? I mean, that shouldn't be necessary, but duh. There. Betterer. Betterer. Ish. Regardless, though. It's stuff. It's making my glorious logistics stuff. Alright, off we go. I will need more power poles. Let's go around all of this. And let's think about where I'm going to place this next train station. Alright. I sort of need to build the train station first. So let's take care of that. And the tracks along the way. Let's get glorious rails. How many signals do I have? Decent enough amount. How about stations? Fine on most thingies. Just top myself up on that stack, and I think I'm good to go. Need more loaders. Need more bulk rail loaders. More. That's more. Yay. And then I have enough locomotives for 1, 2, 5. 5 more trains worth of locomotives, and not that many of wagons. I've got enough for 2.5. This is why I need to make more wagons at a time. Alright, where am I going to tap into stone next? That is a pretty decent spot. Right up here. These three. Right close to each other. I think that's the plan here. I'm going to need to build my rail system up and get my station out here. The station is large enough that it actually gets it pretty close to these patches, and we'll have space, plenty of space, to do wonderful things. So off we go. Let's get our straight rail segments and get on going. Yes, a rock is in the way. Oh noes. Oh noes, a rock. An entire rock. Hey, place the power poles, that'd be great. That'd be great if you were to place those power poles for me. There we go. Now we're cooking. Come to me, my minions. Place the rails. Yeah, I think we're going to need to do a few more. Straights, and then or at least one extra straight, and then the intersection. We'll see. Place those. There you go. And up we go. With the wonderful stuff. I should have the big power poles. Bang. Gotta keep the little green box within range. Is the Mark II the personal Roboport 2 build range bigger? I'm pretty sure it is. I'm very much looking forward to that. Yeah, so this actually is the spot I want the station. Right there. Huh? Wait, what? Oh, right. Here. That's the spot. I was a little off kilter because of the vision. I need to place radars. Radars would be good to have. Fortunately, I don't need to put a little reversal bulb here because this intersection, the trains can actually go U-turn off of this intersection. That's the reason why I've designed this way, is any train that's coming up, it can go back around and down. It can go and do a loop-de-loop. U-turns. Glorious and beautiful U-turns. Doing a U-ey, a U-turn. If they need to. The trains should rarely need to do U-turns, but occasionally, on more complex builds of the train stations, just to point that out as well, in more complex builds, I would need... actually, I'm going to overlay the T intersection on this to get these power poles placed. When doing supply trains, occasionally there is a slight issue. Just part of the game itself. Occasionally it just doesn't want to do stuff. It will want to return to the station that you've placed the train, right? I think we've seen this many times in the past, but yeah, occasionally you put the train down on the train station, you give it its schedule, and you tell it to start its schedule, and it either skips the first item in its schedule, or it wants to return to the same station it's currently at for whatever reason, even though it's currently at the station. It just doesn't stop there. It just does a big loop around to get back to where it currently is. And that's why I wanted to have the ability for trains to do U-turns in my station setups. Why are you not? What? 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 Huh? How did you not get built? Built. There you go. Now you're good. At least you better be good. I should have enough rail segments for this. Gosh, the scale of this always gets to me. Like, this is so stupid large. Why do people do this? Why am I doing this? Like, what is the actual throughput of stuff out of building with this size of train? Is it really necessary? I'm just used to doing the 1-2 trains. I figured I'd do something a little bit different with larger trains. Apparently one of the most efficient setups for trains is to have a train that's like over 40 cargo wagons long. Just immense amount of cargo wagons. But yeah, we're not going to do that. We're sticking with 2-8. Probably could have gotten away with like a 1-4. We are going for Megabase, but there's a difference between Megabase and Gigabase, right? I think these trains are capable of Gigabase scale. When we're going for Megabase scale, and then there would be the the next step up, the like ultra gigabase. The terabase. The terabase. Has that even been like a concept? Have people attempted like another scale higher in the form of the terabase? Or because people keep that naming convention, right? If we're gonna go mega giga, the next step up would be terabase, and then petabase, and then so on and so forth from there. Makes me wonder when we're gonna be making the transition from like in terms of just data capacity of hard drives. And it must be nighttime right now. Yeah, nighttime. So the bots aren't gonna do much of stuff. When we're gonna be getting into that next level of, instead of being measured in terabytes, we'll be measuring in petabytes. And when video games will begin using full-on multiple terabytes of space, and you'll actually need much larger hard drives, or just storage drives in general. Because over time, scale just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger in terms of the amount of data that stuff uses. But we are approaching the limits of what can be done on optical media. So we have to think about, well, what's the next limit? Because the solid state storage doesn't have the same limitations as optical drives. But is there any like physical hi Ollie? How's the boy? How's the boy? But is there like any physical spacing requirement that fundamentally limits solid state storage? Oracle Exadata systems can store a lot. Huh. Okay. I'm sure you can store a semi-sufficient amount. The amount will always be insufficient. There is a distance limit. Okay, that's what I was thinking. And that's why they're trying to build like stacks of stuff to try to improve the storage density for solid state drives. So what's like the current theoretical maximum you can get in a solid state drive for a single drive? Because we already just have repeating units of these little bits of the storage. Like, is there any limit to the number of units of storage is what I'm really asking. I know there's a limit for each individual unit of storage on solid state drives, but is there like of infinite sizing for a storage device? Is there any limit to how many thingies you can pack on a single PCB? Or even multiple PCBs. Find some way to connect multiple together and just pack it with all the things. It'd be super expensive for a really long time, but hey, there you go. Glorious storage space. Solid state storage space. Like, how are we even going to get into the petabyte level of storage in a single device, right? How is that going to happen? I might actually have to tap this one first. Yeah, I know you can connect like multiple systems together like that. It's just I'm trying to think how long it's going to take before we see like consumer level petabyte storage drives. Because I can only imagine that it will eventually be a thing. Oh, I didn't actually bring the thingies with me. Because they're in the car. Hey, bots, could you, come here. Bots? Ollie, you're hot. You're really hot. Come on, stop. Get out of range. There. Get back to the car. You know, that thing that makes you go faster? And I'm bringing this up because, you know, right now we're just getting to the point where terabyte solid state storage like 1 terabyte solid state storage is beginning to be more affordable to an average person. And here I am talking about when are we going to see a scale of times 1,000 more storage be affordable to the masses. Like that's what we're talking about right now. It's like we're just seeing 1 terabyte begin to become affordable for solid state storage. Still far more expensive than the optical storage. And here I am trying to think, well, what about drives at the next level, 1,000 times more storage? Yeah, I have one of those as well. But mine is significantly smaller. I have a, what is it? It's a 512? No. Yes. Wrong thingy. My C drive is a 500 gig SSD, NVMe SSD. And yeah. It works. It's been working for years. It's a Samsung whatever. I forget. 940? I forget exactly. It's a Samsung SSD. I have thingies. Bots. Okay, charge. Charge up. Funny thing is, I have to go to my own Twitch page. I have to go to my own Twitch channel to see my panels. To see my PC specs. Exactly. What is this thing? It's a 950 Pro 512 SSD, M.2 SSD. That's my C drive. I've also got 2 850 EVOs, 500 gigs each. Not in RAID. Because RAID is dumb. I don't like RAID. RAID is just awful. Awful, awful, awful. I don't think I would ever use RAID. Not ever again. I used to. and I was extremely tired of situations where, say, the motherboard BIOS are reset to factory settings and the PC would fail to boot because the drives are in RAID. And it doesn't like that so much. You know? It doesn't like that when the default BIOS settings don't have RAID enabled. And yet the drives are expecting RAID. I've had a few times where I've thought that I've bricked my motherboard completely when all I had to do was unplug the SSDs in RAID, the RAID drives, to access the BIOS, just to access the BIOS for the motherboard, so I can change it to be in RAID mode and then turn it off and plug the drives back in and have it come back. Like, do you realize that's super annoying? Yes, and to get proper boards to do quality RAID. No, not live. Are you kidding me? No. The system is off. You plug them up. You unplug them. You turn the system back on so it can boot into BIOS. Set the RAID back up and then turn it off again. And then plug it back in again. Very arduous process having to do that. And that thing literally cost me money. That not realization that was a thing that could happen, that the motherboard would just fail to post if factory settings have been reset, or if the BIOS settings have been reset to not be in RAID mode anymore, and you have drives that were RAID drives, would just fail to post completely. It would just stay black screen. It just wouldn't do anything when the drives are still plugged in. The data connections are still plugged in. That has literally cost me money. Because I bought... Oh gosh, this is a story. This is a story, actually. And I know that there are separate boards that you can do proper RAID with and quality RAID with that are unfortunately in the $1,000+ range. They're super expensive. Super expensive. No, legit, I unplugged the hard drives and it's fine. And it's fine. And it booted right up into BIOS, and I just set from BIOS into like set the configuration for the hard drives back to RAID mode and plug the drives back in, and it works perfectly. But when I had that happen the very first time, before I learned that was a thing that could happen, I don't even know what I don't even remember what the initial thing that I was doing was, but I was in the process of upgrading my computer. And by in the process, meaning I had ordered parts to upgrade my computer to go to the X99 platform. I actually initially didn't buy the top-end processor. I bought the lowest end of the X99 platform, the Haswell E series. i7 whatever number it was, I forget. but the one that was the cheapest one, not the one that was the $1,000 one that I have now. But that takes time to ship, right? And to arrive. So when this whatever thing happened that reset my BIOS on my existing setup happened, I was like, well, in the meantime, I'm going to need something for my computer because I thought I had actually bricked my motherboard. The BIOS were reset and it did. Oh, I know what it was. I was updating the BIOS. That's what it was. I was updating the BIOS, and when you update the BIOS, it goes back to factory default BIOS settings. And it didn't boot, and I thought I had screwed up the BIOS update. And the board that I had at the time, it was the Sandy Bridge line on the top-end i7 Sandy Bridge processor. On that motherboard that had a whole bunch of a whole bunch of SATA ports that were dead. A whole bunch of SATA ports that were dead. And I thought that I had bricked the computer because of a bad update. Because I screwed up the update somehow. And all it was is that it went to factory settings. And I just had to unplug the RAID hard drives to get it to boot to BIOS, to change the setting back to the RAID mode and put the drives back connected, and it would have been fine. But no, I didn't know that that was the problem at the time, so I thought, well, I just broke my motherboard, and my new PC and motherboard, my new CPU and motherboard aren't going to arrive for like a week. So let's go to Amazon and order a cheap motherboard that I can use in the interim. So I ordered this cheap motherboard to use in the interim, and, oh yeah, I need another one of these, don't I? And that's not the end of the story, because, yeah. So I ordered this motherboard. I very specifically looked for a cheap motherboard that had 2 PCI X16 size slots on it. Full-sized PCI slots, right? Very specifically ordered that because I had, at the time, 2... whatever... 760s? 660 Ti's or whatever, 660s? I think it was 600 series, 660s or something like that. Something 60s, whatever generation. I had a pair of them that I used in SLI. I really don't ever want to use SLI ever again, because that comes with its own set of issues. It's that, yeah, that has its own problems right there. Don't ever SLI. It causes more hassles than it solves. But regardless, I very specifically wanted to order a motherboard that would let me use both in the interim. So I order it, prime delivery, 2 days, would get it well before I would get the other parts that were through standard delivery another several days later. That would be my new system and a complete rebuild of my computer. What I get is a motherboard with 1 PCI X16 slot. I was shipped a motherboard of a completely different model than what I had ordered. And so I call Amazon about it, say, hey, I got the wrong product in the mail. What I ordered and what I got were 2 different things. And they're like, okay, we'll send you a new one, send this one back. Because at the time they were like, okay, just send it back. It's the first time I ever really had this problem with Amazon. They just send that one back, we'll place the order again with a different seller or something, and we'll send you the thing. It's like, okay. I ordered the thing again. 2 days later, I get the same wrong motherboard again. They sent me the same wrong motherboard twice. And so I call them again and tell them what has happened. And they're like, okay, we're going, and at that point in time, it's now too late. It's now too late because my new system is done and I no longer needed the board at all. So like, okay, we'll give you a refund and you can keep the thing. You keep the one thing, send back the other. So that's exactly what happened. I got a motherboard that I didn't actually order, the wrong motherboard that I didn't actually order, and I sent one back, and I got a refund in the end. And then my X99 motherboard, my Gigabyte G1 gaming Wi-Fi X99 thing, arrived, and the CPU arrived, and all of the other stuff eventually arrived for the build at the time. I went a little overkill and did a custom water cooling setup. It was decent. I don't want to do that ever again, though. Doing custom water cooling, it's cool once, but when you actually use it for a while, you realize it's a lot of maintenance associated with that, and it's a little bit of a pain in the butt to deal with, and it can be pretty expensive in the end to properly maintain it. Get the stuff to add to the distilled water. You have to buy distilled water. You have to get your stuff that's going to be the all the antimicrobial stuff to add to the water, the treatment for the water, and the dyes for the water that you want to use. And over time, clear plastic clouds up, and you'll have to eventually replace the clear plastic for the tubes, which aren't exactly cheap either. It's blah. It's blah. Okay, I had this UV reactive green dye that I was using, and I had gotten a couple of UV lights that are actually in a box next to me. I still have those little light strips, but they were UV lights, and it would shine on the tubes, and it would glow green. And it was pretty nice. And I had both of my GPUs plus the CPU as part of my water cooling loop. It was pretty nice. Also, pretty expensive. And it was a big radiator that I had for it. I am not using any of those things anymore. The fittings, oh my god, the fittings. I really wish I hadn't bought those particular fittings. They were awful, 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 awful fittings to use for this setup. I made the mistake of buying fittings that were two separate pieces. Well, two separate pieces. Like, each side of the fitting was two pieces with a just cheap plastic thing in the middle. So that as you're trying to screw, the top end and the bottom end are technically two different pieces of metal that are not connected to each other. So you screw, and then you end up twisting the top and the bottom's not moving. Ah, God. It was not pleasant. Not a pleasant experience in the slightest. Not one bit. Make sure not... I'm going to make sure that if I ever try to do that again, I'm going to get real, solid fittings that aren't like that. There's one solid piece on each side, so that if I screw something in, it's not gonna go sliding and falling apart on me. Anyway. So yeah, that was that experience. I learned not to buy motherboards from Amazon ever after that. You're going to be supply stone. You're going to be supply stone brick. Okay. We need to learn. We need to see what I need for stone and stone brick. Oh, that's a few. We're gonna stick with A smelting array. Just a singular smelting array. For now. Where? Here? Yeah, let's keep these a little bit closer and just belt it in. Oh god, that's a forest. I know trees in the way. I know this game. And then, like, a year later, I had decided that, you know what? I want the top-end CPU. And so I sold my current CPU. Well, I bought the new CPU and then I sold the old one. Little bit of a loss, but still. At least I was able to sell the previous one. And I eventually sold the graphics cards, too. My old, water-cooled graphics cards. I sold them, I think, with the water cooling blocks. Just eBayed them at the time. Made sure to say, oh, these are used for gaming, they're set up for water cooling on them, etc., etc. And they sold, and I shipped them, and they were no complaints. I don't think I've ever had anything that I've ever sold through eBay or such. Never had any complaints about it. Had one person make a mistake that I took care of, that ordered a thing that they thought was a different thing than what I had posted. I had sold a long time ago a copy of the Pokemon Coliseum bonus disc for Nintendo GameCube. Just the bonus disc, not the actual game itself. Because yeah, I had ordered a copy of Pokemon Coliseum off of the GameStop website. And what they gave me was the bonus disc and not the game. And it was the only thing that they had. It was sold out afterwards. They didn't have any other to send me to get the actual game. And I had reported it and etc., etc. I think I got a refund, so it was free. And they didn't want it back. So it's like, okay. So I eventually sold it as a bonus disc, but the first person who was wanting to buy it made a mistake. Some woman who wanted to buy it for their kid, and kid told them, "Oh wait, you've made a mistake here. That's not the game itself. That's the bonus disc." Even though on my thing, on my listing, I said this is the bonus disc. Very, very clear, the title. This is the bonus disc. Not the thing. Gosh, now I'm thinking of how many things I've sold on eBay that I ended up eventually rebuying because I eventually rebought the bonus disc. I eventually got the bonus disc again. In my journey of buying all of the Pokemon games ever. Ish. In case you didn't know, I have a complete collection of Pokemon titles. Except for the most modern ones that have released. I have physical copies of most everything. There's one notable exception, which is the stupid Pokemon box Ruby Sapphire. Oh my god, that thing is awful. Awful! I really don't feel like paying over $300 to get an in-box copy of Pokemon box Ruby Sapphire with the memory card. Ah, that's pain. That's just pure pain. I've connected one. Yeah, this is one red belt into 15 per second, actually. Clear the path. Clear the path. And I don't have Pokken Tournament. I think that's one that I don't have in any of its forms. And I'm pretty sure I don't have well, I don't have the most recent re-release, remake, whatever, of Pokemon Mystery Dungeon for the Switch. That's one that I'm missing. So outside of those, I've got the rest. Oh yeah, and there's these Japanese ones that I don't have. The Japanese first Pokemon Stadium game, I do not have. And you know what, this throughput is so small that I'm not going to bother too much on the splitting of the stuffs. For the moment. Ow, 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 ow. Bye, Ollie. Oops. Okay, there we go. So yeah, I've got like everything on handheld, basically. Did I really shift that? Yep. Yes, I did. And basically all of the ones on console, including the bonus disc for Coliseum. And all of that stuffs. All that stuffs. It's nice. If only I were to actually ever play most of the ones that I now have that I had wanted to at some point. I've even got custom cases. Custom cases for the Game Boy Color games, all the Game Boy Color era games. There's a website that is called customgamecases.com, and they make little cases. And of course, as you can see, they make cases for the Japanese Pokemon games. So I own, or at least the first and second gen Pokemon games. So I own red, blue, yellow, green JP, as well as EN. And I have wonderful custom cases for them. as well as every EN after that of the rest of the franchise. Of all of the mainline games and all of the others. The side games. The entire Mystery Dungeon series. Of which I have played to completion exactly 0 of the mainline Mystery Dungeon series. Of the entire Pokemon Mystery Dungeon series. Precisely 0 beaten. Even though I own every single one. Except the most recent re-release of the original on Switch. Oh, it's so sad. It's so sad. I need to do that eventually. Eventually. Break out my 3DS. Get going. Get trucking. Oh, and my GBA SP, I guess. I actually have 2 Game Boy Advance SPs, technically. These days, why did you not place that? I fiddled around with upgrading the screen and case on one. So, yeah, I've got 2. 2 of these things. Oh yeah, I need another one of you as well. Hi. At least one of you. There we go. Just doing stuff with our stone at the moment. It would be, but I'm not currently. Yeah, see, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have the 8x8s off the side and try to sneak them in horizontally this way. So the 8x8 balancer is gonna be out here, and then I have to get them each line in, and I can get rid of the splitters afterwards. For now, the splitters are fine where they are. I can change it very easily to be the full 8x8 belt balancer, but I am currently holding 16 underground belts. And I will need a few more than that if I am going to go the route of the full 8x8 balancer. Okay, how are we looking out here? I need you to be depot, stone, and depot, stone, brick. This is just the initial setup for these. I, of course, am going to need them at much greater scale. And, it's just, this is okay for now. When we get to at the scale of the Megabase, I will need to adjust a lot. For now, it's fine. Okay, I need to bring in the 2... Oh, I don't have the belt to bring 2, do I? No, I don't. I don't think I have the belt to bring 2 this distance. We shall see. Oh, and then of course I have to go around. Ugh. Save. Why you do this to me? Is this the top or bottom? The top. I might need that length. We shall see. So yeah, I've, See, those are the things that I do when I have money, right? Because everything that I've talked about so far, all those things with the computer and the upgrade to my computer and all of that should be taken with the thought that during that time, I was working an actual job, right? And was very stupid and had a whole bunch of student loans that were providing living expenses for student loans at the time. So I had living expenses off of student loans, plus I was getting like over $800 every 2 weeks for my graduate teaching assistant position in the spring semester most of the time. I think I did one fall semester and a couple springs. I was a graduate teaching assistant 3 times total over the course of 5 years in my master's degree for a different department than I was getting my master's degree in. I helped with, yeah, see, that's the end of that. I need more stuff. I was a teaching assistant for an intro biology, or I should say 4 intro biology courses. 151 and 152, or one, yeah, I think that's the numbers. Because they, at this university, University of Kansas, they split their intro biology. I think most places split their intro biology into the first level, which is atoms into chemicals into cells and cell related stuff. I'm not carrying that much stone. Like, I don't particularly care. Did I break something? I don't know. I need to restock. It's all I'm thinking about right now. Need stuff. Not thinking about draining my trash slots. I'll drain my... Oh, right, I need to... I keep forgetting that I need to make steel chests somewhere. Where do I have steel brought down? Probably nowhere over here. Hey game. You know what would be nice is, if I had a supply of steel chests. If you could, help me out with that. That would be great. Right. Belt. How about we get that first? And undergrounds. I guess I'm okay on splitters for the moment. Wait, what? How was I so blind? Okay. Gib chests. Gib glorious chests. Must have all of these. Wonderful steel chests. So that I can throw all of the wood and all of the stone into these glorious chests. Ollie left and now Dolly's getting up? How's the Dolly? That's my girl. That's pretty Dolly. I wonder how many people didn't notice the cat behind me until she moved. I wonder how many weren't here at the very beginning when I pointed out kitty cat. Didn't realize there was a cat behind me until she just moved. Because stealth kitty, right? She's got a little bit of brown. She's really gray, white-ish, gray tan-ish with her darker tabby stripes, but also a hint of brown on a brown chair. with my head in the way and my brown hair. Cats know what they look like, and they are attracted to rest in places that they will blend into. They're attracted to their own coloration for places to be and rest. Because they know that that's a good thing. That they blend in. That's the point. Ollie is dark gray. He really loves to be in dark gray places. We find him in resting in the darkest of mats and places and things. He likes being in spots that match his coloration. And so does she. Which gets me thinking we actually should get a, I should get a dark gray towel to use next to me. I'm using a red towel right now. Red and yellow. Mottled towel that is on my desk for the cats to sleep on. Kittens to sleep on. But, yeah. Might want to change that. Because Ollie prefers the desk. Dolly, of course, always prefers the chair. She prefers being up high. Always up high. As high as she can ever be. Just the highest she can get. Is great. It's occurring to me that stone brick is 4 times as dense per unit stone as stone. Than stone. Goodbye, Dolly. Because, it's 2 stone per brick. And then it's also 50 units per stack of stone versus 100 units of, stone brick per stack. So this is actually the equivalent of, 200 stone bricks, or 4 stacks of stone. Of stone, not stone bricks. So, yeah. 200 stone. 4 stacks in 1 stack as stone bricks. Meaning, I'm gonna limit that to a single line. And that means that these are gonna fill up a bit faster now. I hope. Oh, right, the, this. Yeah, you're gonna limit. Stone brick isn't used nearly as much. Stone is not even remotely as resource dense, so, or as dense as that, so I'm gonna limit probably to there. You can limit as well. The limits can go away when I increase the throughput. Right now, I think this is not fine because I need to connect these actually. We have 30 stone per second coming in. 60, actually, 2 red belts. And only 15 stone bricks as well. Yes, glorious. Beautiful inputs. Alright, where's my car? Way over there, of course. And I meant to place a radar down there to keep an eye on the ore patches. Yeah, so basically every time that I was hired as a GTA, I ended up having a lot of expenses. Gee, it's as if psychologically we tend to spend what we make and live at our means. It's as if we as humans tend to spend money when we have it. Who'd have thought? Who would have thought that that would be a thing? But yeah, definitely on my list of things that I actually need to write up fully would be to try to get the games that I'm missing of the Pokemon franchise. Because there are some that are reasonable that I could get. Things like the Pokken tournament for the Wii U and the Switch. Things like the JP Pokemon Stadium like Stadium 1 JP. In case you were not aware, Pokemon Stadium, as released to the wider world, is actually Pokemon Stadium 2 in Japan. The first stadium that we got here is the second one made. And our Pokemon Stadium 2 is actually the third Pokemon Stadium game for the N64. Yeah. We never got the very first one. So I don't have that one for JP, and it's JP only. That's on the list of things. I don't even know how much it costs. I think it's relatively cheap and common. And then, of course, grand scheme. Eventually, I would like to get a copy of the Pokemon Box Ruby Sapphire. I have a bunch of these in this. Right. I need to remember that I have those in there. And then, of course, there's the usual, like, oh, I could really use an upgrade to my PC right about now. It's been like 5 years plus. Getting to be that time. So let's see, we've got Supply Stone, Depot Stone, Full Cargo, Circuit Condition. Go. Supply Stone Brick, Depot Stone Brick, Full Cargo, Circuit Condition, go. And then define these. Why stone bricks are on a different tab? Who knows? Alright. There's that. Coal and steel shall be next. I need actually to throw a bunch of stuff back in the car. Oh, or I can put a bunch of rail in the car. Hey, how does that sound? Let's get some rail. Stick the rail in the car. Yeah, that sounds like a much better plan. When you need rail, keep it in the car. In the alternative, we could just go and set up some circuits. Of course. That is always an option. So, how many green circuits we need? A few. A few. That's, oh, just a little bit under 37 blue belts worth. Of which there's actually over 1,000 of it used in the red and blue circuits. I am in no way, shape, or form going to have one factory making all of the green circuits and ship it to the reds and blues. There is no universe where I will do that. I will make it on-site out of the raw materials. And I may do that with reds for blues as well. Although that's not anywhere near the same level of scale as the greens. Most definitely, greens must be on site. The question is then, what about the iron and copper for the greens? Are they going to be on site? Wherever possible, yes. Actually, I should consider that as a thing. Well, decisions, really. That is the name of the game right now. Making decisions. I could, if I had steel, fully automate all of the sciences. Right? Except for I need the coal to get the mill science. And that would be that, right? Because we have the ability to get all of the things for all the sciences by this point. Just add coal. So coal. How much coal do I need? Just under 500. That's reasonable, actually. How many red belts is that? 17? Just under 16? Or just over 16, excuse me. 16.373 repeating. $16 red belts. How many standard mining drills is that? 819. $27 lines. 0.3. 27.3 lines. If I extend the track downward, that's huge. That's decent. I wonder what else is out here, because there's also these. And there's all of this. Like, holy god, that's a few. That's a few patches. Also, I'll need more rail. I'll need all of the everything here. I'll hold on to the rest. Take that. I don't need that if I'm doing coal next. And oh yeah, get rid of that. Thanks. Over here. You fill the thing, please. I need a few in the grand scheme. Just a few units of coal will be necessary. Fortunately, we don't need to process this. It's just mine it, throw it into the thing, and we're done. Steel, though. Steel is going to need a little bit more thought and planning behind it. If only my trains were smaller. I really don't want to plan around that. Because I could tap into this if my station was smaller. Oh boy, that's a forest. That is a forest. Die, trees! Cut my way through this forest. So what I would do if I had a smaller station is I need to space this on here, this spot, and then station, and I could tap the top smaller station, say a 1-2 train, or a 1-4 train. And it would work on this network. Any train size smaller than 2.8 will work without having to adjust anything, right? And I can keep the sizing. It doesn't really matter so much. I could do that. I might. If I want to make a smaller station that can tap into individual ore patches that are in inconvenient locations for the larger train stations, / not worth the throughput of a larger train station. Because remember, we can only mine so much, so quickly, out of any given patch. Alright, how are we doing here? Get rid of that. Clear it. Destroy the trees. Okay, I'm thinking that the train station is gonna be off in that direction. There we go. I may need more signals at some point, but there we go. Are we fully connected on this power? Yes, we are. Good. Glorious power. Oh yeah, there's these, but these are for initial power. Ah, uranium. Right. That would be good to know where my uranium patches are. Because, yeah, might need nuclear power, although... Isn't nuclear power, like, extremely UPS intensive? Pretty sure nuclear power is extremely UPS intensive. We'll see if it even becomes a problem. I have a really good computer, and while yes, Pi Suite causes problems even by Circuit 2s, but just in terms of the scale of things. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know about when we might encounter issues on this particular scale of base, remembering that we are going for 50 science per second, which is 3,000 science per minute. 3K SPM. 'Tis the plan for our base. Speaking of which, I will need glorious radar coverage. Come on, bots. You can do it. I should probably just add those to the station completely with that one in particular. Just do an add to blueprint with all of the power poles and even the radar coverage as part of it. Yeah. That would be ideal, most likely. So I don't have to worry about constantly adding all these things to the blueprint. No, just do an add to blueprint. There we go. That should be exact and shouldn't change anything. Yeah. Shouldn't change anything. Go, my minions! Build the thing! Alright, so we've got that, we've got that, we've got that, we've got that. Technically that too. I'll just build the rails down. It looks like I've got another one here. We'll see as my radar begins to reveal a lot of this. And we got over here stuff. It's glorious. Beautiful things. Allergies, my gosh. Coffee? Gone. Sad. The sadness that I am out of coffee. So I hope you all enjoy building at scale, because this is definitely a journey. Definitely a journey. And, you know, going with all the vanilla recipes and all that is good practice. Good to go back from time to time to have a look at exactly what's involved with doing things at scale in the vanilla game. Taking all the things that we've learned from the various mods about the mechanics and just applying it to the standard game. And let's hope that when the expansion for Factorio is released, that they are going to be working on that. It's not going to be something lame like a scenario pack. I'm worried. I am a little bit worried that they're just gonna do like a scenario pack as their expansion. They said it's one big expansion. Please define big. Because if it's a pack of 20 scenarios, it's like, okay, that's big. 20 whole scenarios. Woohoo! Without fundamentally altering the game in any way, shape, or form. And then I fear that the like updates to the fluid system are going to be blocked behind their DLC, their expansion. That's the thing that I'm afraid for. Like, okay, are you going to be putting in a whole bunch of new fluid handling things in this expansion that you know, you said you were going to do as part of the main game and never did? Like the whole thing about the expansion is like, yeah, it's great that we are going to get some new content for Factorio, but You didn't tell us anything about what that even remotely may include. And until we see something in that regard, I'm gonna have to have complete and utter hesitation about all of it. Okay, what are we gonna do here? I guess it's better to tap the bottom ones first, because there's gonna be a lot of belt. Alright, you. Oh good, I have all of the things. Let's manually reveal. Oh boy. I thought these would be bigger. Nope. Nope, not a chance. Okay. Now I know. 205. Wow, that is not much indeed. Lots of oil. That's for sure. Oil and stone and copper. Just want to reveal this guy up here. And its extents, and the one next to it. Ooh, uranium. Ooh, double uranium. Ooh, triple uranium up here. With a lot of trees on it. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. That's a lot of trees. Okay, which to tap first? We will eventually need to have over 800 mining drills. Mining coal. Eventually. And not running out, either. From, ore density. Because that's the other thing that's probably going to happen at some point. We may begin to run out of stuff. You. This patch is as good as any. It looks like it, can handle a number of red belts worth of stuff. Let's do it here. Whoops, not there. I think I'm not gonna do that. 7. 6 sounds good to me. Off of that one. Bling, 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 bling. We are halfway through today's stream, which means that it is, in fact, that time to take a brief break. As we are, of course, building out... Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Let me through. Building out our coal setup. Down here and on all of the things, always. Ever. And eventually loading into the thing. I would like to thank you all for watching. I will be back in just a few minutes from our brief break. When I come back, we're going to continue with the coal, move on to a little bit of steel, and go on from there into circuits, if there's still time. I will be back shortly. And I have returned. Welcome back. I've got a dolly. She was following me. She was playing fetch. She was playing fetch, huh? With her cap. With bottle cap, yes, you're so squirmy. You're a squirmy girl. You're a squirmy girl, but you're so much nicer than your brother. When he wants to get away, he'll scratch. He's stronger than you are. He's bigger. He's big and strong and scary. And uses those hind legs to great effect. If he wants to get away, he's getting away. If he wants out, he gets out. If Dolly wants out, oh, she's not going anywhere if you want to actually keep holding on to her. She's small. A lot smaller. I see an Ollie. Hello, you want to come say hi too? How's Ollie? How's my boy? You gonna come up? He's gonna come up? He's gonna come up? Where's my Ollie? There's my Ollie. There he is. Hello, my boy. Yes, big stretch. Big stretch with the big paw. Yes. How's the big boy? Do 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 do. Kiss kiss. Sniff sniff. You sniffing? You're sniffing my breath? Smelling my breath? Yes, I should have something interesting on my breath. Because I took a dose of echinacea to clear my throat. I will never deny the effectiveness of echinacea at being able to clear out phlegm from the throat immediately. So that's why I just took that dose, because I've been allergies thus far, and it's been building up in the back of my throat over the course of this stream, and I was like, you know, I'd like that to go away immediately. And so the dose of echinacea, mostly due to the little bit of vodka that's in it, immediately clears everything. Just a little bit of vodka in that. Clears things out. Just a tiny little, like, dropper, eyedropper type thing that, you just pull it up from the bottle, just a little bit, barely even a couple of milliliters, just in the back of the throat. Good to go. Good to go, cleans it out. So we have 6 red belts now of the coal that we need to get from here to here. That's a few units of belt, actually, to get all the way up there. You know, thinking about it, I may. Actually, no. So here's the slight issue. I could put it here, the whole station, but that's gonna take a long time to do that adjustment. Do I? Because either way, I'm going to want to tap into all of this stuff anyway. Like, on average, it's still going to be about the same number of belt segments used. So, up we go. Oh, wait, no, this isn't... What am I thinking? This isn't 6 red belts? No. This is not 6 red belts. This is 3. This is 3 red belts. What am I even thinking? No. These are not 60 long. These are 30 each. 30 each. That is nowhere near the same. And then I have to think, well, where am I going to do my 8-way thingy? The power of the Throughput Unlimited 8 balancer. Or I can think about, well, how many blue belts will I need in the end? How many blues do I need in the end? Because I can just put down a balancer that'll fit that. Where's my calculator? Calculator. So we needed 491.2 coal in total, divided by 45. 11? So if I put down a 1212, although it's odd because this book doesn't have like a throughput unlimited 1212. It has a 1616. So I guess I'll do the 1616 here. And I'll put it here. This is the 16 to 16 unlimited balancer. Unlimited, which means it is N to N. You can use any or none of the 16. Any or all on each side. It will balance all of it evenly. Even if it's just a 2 into 1 or a 3 into 1, it'll balance it evenly. Or a 3 into 16. It should balance it evenly. I don't think it quite can handle that. The primes. Primes are terrible if you're trying to do belt balancers. Prime numbers are not even remotely ideal. Meow? I just heard a dolly meow? I don't even know how I'm going to really feed this in the end. All I know is that once I upgrade it to blue, it's going to need to have 12 in, 12 out, not 16. I might change it to the 12-12, because at least the 12-12 should be evenly balanced. And will have 12. Well, it'll have 11. Nah. I need 11 to 12. Throughput unlimited. Ooh, I need more undergrounds. Who would have thought that on a belt balancer that needs 156 undergrounds, that I might need to get more undergrounds? Oh boy, hi. Give me those. I need those. Yes, come back. Charge! Do your charging shenanigans. Actually, just get inside my inventory. Then yes, I need to power it all. Glorious. Do the doohickeys. Place the things. I don't even want to think about the logic of how this works. I really don't want to think about the logic behind how all of this works. This scramble. It's just a mess to me, to my eyes. I don't like having to do these. I really don't like having to do these. The, of course, easy way around having to do these would be to install a mod that adds in larger chests / warehouses, as well as a mod that adds loaders. And voila! You have a complete replacement to ever having to do belt balancers. By loading into a warehouse and unloading from a warehouse. However much in to however much out. So what I will do is do this somewhat properly. Do I even have this? Oh, do I even have enough space? Oh god, do I even have enough space? I don't know. Oh my. So... no, that way. This is a 16, right? This is 16? Do I just go ahead and do that? I think so, yes. So I may as well make use of the fact that it's 16, right? And add stuff to the other side. Come on, bots. Oh, 353. I will... essentially, I'm guaranteed to need more. That should be fine. Well, that's one way to do it. Alright, I should mirror the other 4. Yes, I should, and I shall. Glorious belt. Glorious belts! Ta-da! It works. I wish it was mirrored a little bit better, but... that's a little better. It's literally impossible to get it to look perfectly symmetrical because this is a gap of 3, and this is an even number wide. And we have 16 thingies going in. Not quite possible to get it all done beautifully symmetric, completely symmetric, but it's fine. As long as we get the power poles all evenly placed. That is definitely that. That's for sure. That is a thing. The biggest belt balancer yet! Am I going to need it anytime soon? Probably not. The future. Planning. Planning for future. How we doing, power-wise? Fine. And so we have 3 red belts of throughput in as of here, with all the things catching up. Precisely 3, ultimately, from here. Going up the belts, and then getting thrown into a massive balancer. Throughput unlimited 16 to 16. And it's going to split these 3 into 16 evenly, as best it can. Quote unquote evenly. We shall see. We'll find out just how even this ends up being once we get these 3 going and all of the balancers get going. All the stuff gets moving. That looks pretty even to me. I don't know about you, but that looks pretty even on the output from this balancer. It's eating all 3 fully, and it's shoving out as 16. So that is glorious. Glorious, beautiful stuffs, and we can just keep adding more as we desire, essentially. Locomotive. I need to bear in mind, oh right, I need more wagons. Great! More wagon time. Let's go get more wagons. More wascally wagons. Fill our cargo up. Now, when I tap this, the unfortunate part is that I have to, like, send it all the way over and up into my balancer. Little disappointing, that. But hey. Sometimes we have to deal with that sort of stuff. This gives me an opportunity to get more belt as well. So that's 50. 60. Yep, 60. Enough for 10. Beautiful trains. As long as I grab more, doohickeys. Grab another stack of those, and those. As long as I get more locomotives. 10, yes. I have enough for 10 trains. If only I had the, fuel for said trains. It would be perfect. Top up my splitters, and that, as they say, is that. Why are you here and not here? Yeah, that makes more sense. I parked down here. Let's wrap this build up, shall we? Yeah, that sounds... that's good. Just store a bunch of stuffs in the car, and hopefully don't destroy the car along the way. That would not be a good thing. Destroying the car, not a good idea. Getting hit by locomotives, not a great plan. Alright. Wagons. I got 6... Why did I think that it's enough for 10 when I grabbed 60 rather than 80? I can't math, apparently. I apparently am incapable of math. I needed to grab 80 wagons for 10 trains. Ahem. Never mind. So this needs to be S coal. This needs to be D coal. You need to be S coal to D coal, full cargo, circuit condition. Go ahead and do your thing. Snaky, snaky. Beautiful. And define the priority for coal. Where is it? Here. D coal, go. Be free! Next item on the agenda. Steel. Steel. I'm just thinking about where I want to put it. So, in terms of the scale, I will need 488.1 steel. 488.1. Now if I hit control... Ugh. Where did it... Wait, where did it put the... Huh? If I hit shift... No. Add it to the thing. Convert recipe to block. Add that. So what this does is it separates things out so that I know that this is completely separate from the other stuffs. I may want to do that with these guys here, specifically. Yeah, all 3 of these. Actually, that gives me a pretty good idea of what I need in general, but that's going to show me the grand total for everything again. Wait, what? Yeah, that's a lot. I want this block higher. I basically want to invert this, actually. And I can do that like so. And by inverting it, what that does is it tells me, okay, I need this many electronic circuits for everything else. Wait, why is there a... Did I do this twice? Did I do any... What? 54.4. 336.7. 300.2. I understand where those numbers are coming from in here. In this set, right? Why is this number 556.3? And why is this 300.2? And why is this 96.8? Why is this 96.8? I need 54.4, not 96.8. Huh? Oh. Matrix solver. Why? Why you do this to me? Matrix solver. Of course. Of course. Sure. Sure. Thanks, Helmod. So now I can break this down and it'll show me the actual plate values of the things that I will need to get the 336.7, which is the amount that I need, irrespective of the advanced circuits and the processing units, the red and blues. I hope. And then this'll it just adds up from here, from 336.7, 428.9, and 776. All that adds up to the total value of the circuits that I will eventually need. But what I'm looking to do is have a factory for green circuits that'll be servicing the stuff that I need the green circuits for, a factory for red circuits that'll be making green circuits on site, as well as a factory for blue circuits that will also be making green circuits on site for the blue circuits, rather than have to move around over 1,000 units of circuits. I would also argue that it would be best to, make sure to do all of the mining and refining of the iron and the copper at these respective locations, right? This, also uses iron, so do this here. Bring in sulfur, or make the sulfur here, and get the iron sorted for all of that, like so. Do all of this in one factory, including the mining, ideally, of the iron and copper, and get them done locally, because that is a much lower value than the other stuffs. And by doing that, we have now adjusted the amount of the iron and copper that are actually necessary, and steel, not really the steel, but the iron and copper outside of the steel, that's needed for the rest of the base. So what we actually need to mine of the iron plates and the copper plates and provide onto the network for iron plates and copper plates are these values here, these. Now I'm just looking at the copper and I'm trying to think, well, LDS, okay. That explains a lot. So a lot of the low density structure, a lot of the copper plate expense is as LDS. A lot of the steel plate expense is at the LDS. In fact, like a quarter of my steel is in low density structures. And another big chunk on those solar panels. And that's just to get what I need for the actual final 50 numbers. That's not considering the excess I need to feed a mall, right? The excess that I will want to have that would eventually be feeding into a mall and all of those logistics. Where does... the electric furnaces uses another big chunk, as well as the rail uses another big chunk for the purple science for steel. So a lot of the steel demand, like over half of the steel demand, is going to come from the purple science alone to get up to 50 purple science production science packs per second. So that's good to know that that's going to be over half of the steel demand, because that's the next thing we are working on here, is that. Right now, I don't have 470.5 on the main iron mining setup. We have 30, 60, 90. We have 90, not 470 or whatever that number was. Yes, here, 400 or 564.5, or 470.5 iron ore Why is it 470 and a half? Why does that be 470 and a half? 470.5 divided by 30. 16 red belts worth. We have 3. 16 red belts worth. We have 3. 3. And enough of a... Oh, I was thinking of tapping these, wasn't I? Oopsies. Whoopsies. Oh, there's a bunch more nearby I can tap. I think I can get my throughput of red belt. 16 red belt. I did these for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh my god! I need to double this! I need to double this infrastructure in the end. Huh. And, of course, that's only the beginning, because, well, circuits. So, steel is next. That'll be the absolute next thing. This is going to need a lot more than that. 1,700, effectively, iron ore getting mined. That is just shy of 3,000 mining drills without any beacons or modules. Yes, I do have these big iron patches in the west. That's steel. This is going to be what I use for my steel. Now the question is, where am I going to get the station put for the steel? My thought is that I will have a intersection. The problem with the intersection idea yeah, is that I left a gap of 2 here and not a gap of 3. So that's slightly problematic. It's not such a good idea to have a intersection near another intersection like that, but that leaves converting this to a 4-way. And going out from there. So that's what I'll do, and I'll stick my little train station upright over here. That is what I shall do. Where did I park? Over here. Let me out. Let me out. Oot and a boot. Let's go. Grab rail. Wait, what? Huh? Oh, it tried to insert everything, didn't it? Yeah. Give me rail. I want rail. Okay, here we go. Robots, time to place a lot of rail and signals. I need more chain signals. I will not have enough chain signals. Yeah, I need to restock on those once we get all of our bots back. Let's go. Let's get some signals. We have arrived. Our signals are up here. Chains. In particular. Yep, there we go. We're good. Back again. Now, yeah, there's an argument to not to avoid 4-way intersections as much as possible. because of the performance impact of four-way intersections as a whole. It's really not that big a deal in the grand scheme. Just as long as you limit them and not build a base designed around the concept of having a whole bunch of four-way intersections. Because it's when you get a lot of four-way intersections that the rail pathing system can begin to chug the game, slow down, because they end up having multiple options to have to choose from for each individual train when you have more and more and more four-way intersections. The fewer there are and the fewer boxes you form in your rail network, the easier the time your trains will have, and the lower the impact on the performance. Better to have longer single straight segments with the occasional U-turn than to have squares essentially of rail. You can have some squares, don't get me wrong, it's just try not, like, the city block concept of rails is not particularly good on performance in large bases. It does have an impact. I need you. And it doesn't look nice either. It looks plain and boring. Ahem. Building in a completely neat and organized way is straight up boring. It's like, oh, but perfection. No. That's not what, that's not actually pretty. What's the point of perfection if it looks samey and boring? There is none. There is no point to building complete perfection if it doesn't actually look good in the end. And I don't think that Factorio squares, that building in squares, looks good in the slightest. It just doesn't. I try to build like this as organically as possible, just building with straight lines, two areas with patches that I want to tap into, and that'll form the basis of the rail network, and then I'll have to decide once we do get into making things that do not require the mining of resources. So once we set up actual factories, we're going to have to determine where we want to build the pure inputs only and inputs and outputs factories, rather than these factories that we're doing right now that are just output factories for the most part. Outside of the in fact, even the oil, like everything we've done so far outside of the fuel stop here, they've all been in supplier factories, right? Without any outside input into these factories. And their positions on the map have been determined by the locations of the ore patches. We will eventually not be limited by the locations of the ore patches for the more advanced factories that make use of the things that are based off of the ore patches. And that's when things will get a little bit more interesting, because we'll have to determine where we're going to do these, what amount of space are we going to devote to them, what is my spacing going to be? Are they going to all be on one great big line with adjacent factories all the way down the line? Because that's what I did in the Angels series, the Space Angels ABX series that we've just come off of recently. Having finished all of that, what I did there is I had my setup, my blueprint book that I was using, I set up a couple of straight lines, had my train stations that came off of one main line with a relatively even spacing between where I had the individual factories, and I had the spacing to build those factories. And it turned out pretty well. It worked in the end. Quite a bit of traffic, yes. So that is one thing we need to keep in mind. Is like, well, how many are we going to like cap for these factories on like either side of an intersection, because it gets a little bit busy. Or it will get a little bit busy depending on which factories are getting stuff from specific locations. The reason to use these really long trains is to reduce the overall train traffic. The really long trains here will help to reduce the overall amount of traffic in the base for trains, because the more stuff you can move at a time, the lower the frequency that you'll have to move more stuff. And the bigger the buffers that you keep, the lower rate at which you'll have to send additional trains. That's the whole point, really. Keeps the traffic down so that the rail system doesn't clog. And we'll need to time things out so that when we build a new factory, we get all the stuff delivered and fill up the buffers before moving on to the next factory. So we have made a great big line of shenaniganry. I'm going to close that for the moment so that I can place my radars along this line. This will be a new, like, hub length, or whatever you want to call it, a main line of rail. Main horizontal line going in this direction. Looks like I can just place this here, and that meets up with all the stuff. And we're good. There's our radar coverage of all of that. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Now, where is the station going to live for my steel? For my steel. Right here. That is going to be the steel train station. Congratulations. You are magnificent. Now, this is going to take several minutes to actually build the station, so let's figure out what we're going to be doing, like what the scale is going to be like. I'll need to design my steel facility, the actual smelting for it. Now, because I am planning on using productivity modules, and I am planning these builds around the concept of having access to beacons and productivity modules, what I need to do is not design a direct insertion setup for the iron into steel. The reason being is that while, yes, iron into steel is a 1-to-1 ratio, it is no longer a 1-to-1 ratio when productivity is added into the picture. So it's at that point that it's like, okay, now we should separate these, else we're going to be building a lot more buildings than we otherwise need. I'm forgetting that I will need more radar coverage as we get all the way up. Oh God, why? Oh, I've forgotten that I include a radar as part, or 2 radars as part of my station blueprint now. I have I have completely forgotten. Oh, good. Now the thing is powered, so we actually see all of this. And yes, I do know and can see that, as it just so happens, the location of this is right by my starting iron. Now, these are only 15 mil patches, which is nowhere even remotely close to enough. Not even remotely close to enough. A good supplement for a little while, but it's these guys that are going to be the heroes. These double patches. The heroic doubles. That's like, these are really 4 patches, but they're treated as 1 for the purposes of the hovers. They were 2 if the settings were a little bit different on the spawn points. It's like the game wanted to spawn a patch like right here and right here and right here and right here, and then scaled them out, and they touched, so then they became 1 entity when they touched. And that if we had lower size settings, well, they wouldn't exist there to begin with, but lower size settings would keep them as separate patches. Whenever that event would have happened, where there are a couple of the same patch near each other, like that. Come on, rail. I've got plenty of you. And I've picked up... Oh god, I'm down to 30 chain signals again? Already? Yes, already. Oh boy, yeah, we need to kill a forest in its entirety. Sadly, this entire forest must die. All of it must die. I'm tempted to just make a bunch of grenades to use for killing trees, because it does take the bots a little bit too long. Oh, right. The NVIDIA 3060 is out now. The RTX 3060 is out now. Quote unquote. Good luck getting one. Yeah. Yeah. We screw Ethereum. Just screw it in its entirety. Its entire existence. It ruins the actual market for gaming graphics cards. Graphics cards designed for gaming. Just completely ruins the experience. And every other cryptocurrency based off of similar types of algorithms to Ethereum that are based off of using GPUs to mine. Just all of it. Forever. Screw them all. Screw them all. And screw all the people who use bots to buy large volumes of stuff before anyone even has a chance of getting stuff ordered. Especially the ones who are illegally bypassing the actual checkout processes that they're supposed to go through. And all the, like, confirmations and checking. There really needs to be a fundamental alteration to how payments are handled online. You know, like simple bot checks should happen in the checkout process. That would be a good start. It's like, hey, are you human? But even the bots are getting good at deceiving those these days. Or maybe this. Hey, have you made a purchase within the last 0.2 seconds? If so, you're probably not a human. Right? Or has there been a purchase to this address within the past whatever short period of time? There's so many things that need to be done to make it a little bit better, to give people a chance. I actually haven't even paid much attention to the actual, like, performance numbers of the recent graphics cards, especially this 3060 launch. I don't know what it is even supposed to be for its performance. I'm imagining on par with my 1080 Ti, maybe slightly lower. I'm thinking around those lines. So if I needed to side grade, like if my current GPU were to just fail, the replacement would be a 3060, the on par replacement, but or the 3060 Ti. I don't really know. One of these things. But why would I get something that's then equivalent, though? That's the other problem I have right now. It's like, oh yeah, I need, or I would like to get a more up-to-date GPU, as well as CPU and motherboard, and those are of greater importance at the moment, because they are older than the graphics card that I have, but, if I was inclined to do a GPU upgrade, it's like, well, I need something that's going to be significantly different, noticeably different than the one that I have right now, and I sort of do need a lot of graphics memory, a lot of VRAM, just in the screen setup that I'm using, right? Because I've got two 1440p screens and a 1080p screen, triple monitor, well, 2 monitor and a TV setup, and I really like having that. I really like having the option of just putting a video on the freaking big TV next to me and just swiveling around and watching the video on that big screen. Much better experience than watching even higher quality, higher resolution video on the smaller screens. It's like, but big. But big though. I wish this screen was a 4K screen at this size or bigger. But that's, again, another one of those things. It's like, oh boy. On one of those things on the list that's like, yeah, maybe not anytime soon. Not in the next 7 to 10 years. I don't think that's gonna happen. But hey, why you do this? It must be, yep, nighttime. Oh well. Yeah, need all of this wood to go away. Hey, wood. Get stored. Thanks. But, yeah. If I was trying to look for a graphics card right now that has at least as much VRAM as what I have now, and is significantly better than what I have now, there's only one option going from a 1080 Ti. Because I don't have grenades, Abe. Why don't you blast them to smithereens? Because I haven't made grenades. I have just said that I'm very tempted to just go make a bunch of grenades. Just automate grenades so that I could destroy forests more easily. I have thought of this. It being nighttime, let's just do it. It's, what? Iron and coal? It's iron and coal, yes? Iron and coal? That's not gonna be good at scale. I don't make grenades because I never play with biters and I never needed them. I never need them. And I usually don't play with this many trees. I don't usually play with this many trees. Slash, I usually play with nanobots and have termite ammo. Okay? I usually play with nanobots and have termite ammo. And the termite ammo is significantly more effective than the grenades are. And yeah, poison capsules would be the equivalent if I had military science to unlock poison capsules and the ability to make them. Mill science to get the poison capsules. Coal, steel, and circuits. And I'm not at mill science yet. And mill science is grenades, piercing ammo, and walls for the mill science. Or iron, steel, stone bricks. And I think that's about it, actually. Alright, go and take care of this part of the forest, please. That would be great. Go, my minions. Do the thing. Actually, just don't do the thing on those trees. Not these trees. These trees, they can stay. I need to get rid of these trees that are in the way of the ore patch, because I'm gonna need to have a gigantic belt balancer right here. A big one, at least. We needed 488.1. That's gonna need at least a 10 balancer. Not 10. Blah. A 12 balancer. But it's that same issue of 11 in, so we're gonna have another 16 to 16. Ooh boy. We need this. We need this. With 11 blue belts in to the 16 out evenly. To fully cover things. Yeah. It's a bit of stuff. Just a bit. So, as I was saying, before interrupted with the whole grenade thing, there's only one option to upgrade my 1080 Ti for a noticeable difference in the amount of performance, as well as having at least 11 gigabytes of VRAM. And that's the 3090 right now. Only the 3090 has equal to or greater than the current amount of VRAM that I have on my 1080 Ti, as well as performs better. Which is like, huh? Why is there no 3080 with more VRAM? There might be. They're all sold out anyway, perpetually, so it's not like it even matters. Like, there's no way I'm even going to find one to buy, even if I had the money for it. The like, what's a 3090 cost? 1.5K USD, $1,500 MSRP. The only way that you're getting one is if you buy a full computer system, which has also been tempting, by the way, to just get the whole freaking systems. Like if I'm going to plan on eventually getting into the like AMD Ryzen 9 setup anyway with a new CPU and motherboard, then and then also at some point improving the graphics to potentially a 3090, well then that's basically a full system inherently. So it's like, oh, okay. The only thing that makes it not a full system is the power supply, RAM, and drives, and the cooling and a few other bits and bobs, but and the case and yeah, just the most expensive components. Top 3: CPU, motherboard, graphics card. Not that big of a leap to get a full pre-built system as comparison to the individual parts. Although, yes, the individual parts would generally be cheaper. The problem is availability. Availability is the biggest issue right now of those, and it's not like I have the cash anyway. Not at the moment. And likely not ever. Nor the income to do it on credit, either. Come on, bots. Ugh. Charge! Charge my robots! I need you to clean this. Thanks. That would be greatly appreciated. This is all for steel. This is all for steel. Hi, you are D-Steel. Glorious steel. Where is the smelting itself going to live? Hold up. This is mining. This is the inputs. Does it live in here? Like in here and up? Scaling upwards the number of thingies? I think so. I think that's where the smelting line's gonna live. That? No. You. And then it has to be, like, doubled, right? Because it's also got the steel part on top of the iron, obviously. And the steel part, by necessity, is gonna need to be a lot, but modules, speed modules on beacons, oof. How many is this blueprint? 48? 1205 over 48? 26? Oh boy. How tall is this times 26? Oh, and if that's 26, then the iron's more. This seems to do nothing in terms of the number of buildings. But yeah. No, it's actually roughly the same. Slightly smaller. Right, because the steel is inherently a lot slower of a process, or is it the same? I forget. Also, 3 gigawatts in the grand scheme. Just trying to think about 1,005 divided by 48, 21. So 21 and then 25. Oh god. Oh boy, and then the splitting evenly between those. Ooh, that's gonna be... That's gonna be so much that it really is difficult for me to really do that anywhere in here. So what I'm thinking is that I'm going to get that done in this space. Yeah. Yeah. That's my thought for future-proofing all this. So, or we could go down. The problem is the belts are going to be a nightmare. If we say that the steel lines are here, or maybe a little bit down, and I can put my... Oh, God. This is going to require a lot of balancing internally. And this is all coal I want to tap into as well. Oh my, I am eventually going to be deleting this once I get into the flying bots, logistic bots. This goes away. So if this side on this line is the steel processing times 26, I can definitely fit at least 26 in here. And then this side is the iron. I think that will work out fine. I think that'll work out fine. So for now, what's going to be here is going to be the initial iron array. It scales like this. That's for, what is it, 5 into 1? It's 5 into 1, yes? Without any of the productivity and such. So that is going to live like preferably in line and right about there as the first item. That's the initial ratio. That's the initial ratio. Once productivity comes into play, that dramatically changes. That dramatically changes once the productivity and the beacons and all that come in and such. Now, I still do want to get rid of all of that wood and more. There we go. All that out of the way. And this is preferably what I'd want to build now. Because this would be a 30 per second of steel to provide to my base a full red belt on my base. Ish? No, what am I thinking? No. No. That is opposite of the idea. Hold up. It's a 1-to-1 ratio, but... yeah. It is a 1-to-1 ratio. But you get 1/5 out. This is 30 steel per second total from 5 red belts of iron per second. That's the key. The question is, could I put 5 red belts? Not here. Not alone. Grab this. How many can I get on you? Can I get more this way? I'm just trying to think. I think it's the horizontal that's more. That would give 5. I could fit a 6th. So that's 6, but if upright... yeah, I think no matter what, it's 6. Regardless of orientation. Which is 3 red belts. Now I will need 2 more. 2 more. Just 2 more. Just a couple more. We'll start tapping into this, I guess. Right over here. That line is capable of the double size. As is this line here. This line here is actually capable of having 2 double length. More than double length. Oh boy. So that's actually 2 red belts. Right there. That's 2 red belts. Full red belts. So those 2 with these 3. Although... it's fine. It's fine. Technically speaking, this is the full 30 each, and productivity, we can at least trim 2 off the ends to be 28s. Question is, do I have enough mining drills? 180 and 120 is... 300. That I should have enough. $30 times 5. Or 30 times 10, actually. 0.5 per second per thingy. Bots, could you do your mission? Could you, oh, it's night. It's nighttime. Of course they're not going to do their mission. And then we need to get these belts brought down. We need to belt down over into here. So all the way down, all the way over, across and into this, and combined out, across, up, and into here. This is our supply steel. These 5 need to combine into 1, going across and up and into this. 5 to 1 is not a great thing to try to balance. Let me tell you that for sure. Not ideal in the slightest. But we shall prevail over time. Alright, have you been placing things? That would be appreciated. Gosh, part of me is thinking, is any extra solar panels are any extra solar panels actually gonna be worth it? Not really. I get rid of 20 megajoules to get an extra 60 kilowatts at peak during the day? Nah, not worth it. Once we get through the steel and get into existent amounts of circuits, this is going to be so much easier to do stuff, because I will go probably directly into sciences once we get our red circuits at scale, and oh yeah, we have to do the engine units first. And may divert into mill and purple and yellow science. Oh yeah, I never added mill. I never added mill science into this list. You know, that's important too. Somewhere in here. That's the whole point I'm trying to make, is that we're gonna get into sciences and military science and actually start taking the techs, get the power armor, get the better stuffs. And get into the blue circuits and all that to get upgrades, Mark II thingies, and be able to build faster, build better. Alright, get you connected up to power. Next up, I need all of my... Well, I need more of my stuff in general. Hello, Dolly. Meow. 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 How's my baby girl? How's my Dolly? How's my sweetie? Sweetie with her little paws. She playful? Is my sweetie playful? Yes. Yes, she is. She's a playful baby. Oh, that's a great big leg. That's a great big leg you've got there. Hi. Great big stripies. Stripy leg. Such a pretty girl. Such a pretty girl with her marks. If only it wasn't pushing against my neck. Ahem. Where did I park? Up there. Let's get in the vehicle. And head down. Vehicle. Let's go. We are not finishing this steel today. In this stream, we've got about 6 minutes left for our stream, and yeah, steel ain't happening. At least there's no forest down here that's in the way, unlike up here, where there's now only former forest. Ha. Ha ha. Hey, don't push the back of my neck. I've already had a frickin' strain on both sides because of you. Strained neck, not good times. Not good times. I'm usually extremely tolerant to pain, but when it's a literal persistent pain in the neck, there's very specific types of pain that I am not tolerant of at all, and that has to do with anything that is persistent. That doesn't ever go away. I can take little nicks, cuts, second-degree burns on my hands. I can take them because I know they don't last a long time. It's awful for the time that they last, but they don't last forever. And just that knowledge is enough for me. But if it's persistent pain in the neck, or anything that starts to go to the teeth, or into the throat, oh, it's another story. I'm not tolerant of that at all. I am just, no, don't. Must stop. Must cease immediately. Must get all of the pain meds. All of them. Alright, there we go. There's the remainder of that mining. We, of course, have to merge every other bots. It's nighttime again. Okay, that is that mining. That is... Let's think of this scale issue, huh? So, I'm building this in a way that I can get all of my stuff done, right? That I can get the entire lines that I want out of all this. In fact, if that's 5, then, and if that's 10, then 21 would actually probably fit within that. Anyway, but, actually not 21, 26, I don't think it would, actually. But at this 1-to-1 ratio, this is the entity count in space needed just to get 30 steel. Right? Just to get 30 steel, because steel is 5 to 1. 5 to 1 ratio there. And the way that the timing works out is that 5 cycles of the iron plate production is equivalent to 1 cycle of the steel plate production. It is 1 to 1. Yes, I could have direct insertion, but we are planning for the future. We are planning... Give me these. I need these. I'll need all of the inserters ever as well. We're planning for when we have productivity modules, and the ratio is no longer 1 to 1, or 5 to 1, in terms of building to building. It changes a lot. It changes a lot. And it looks like we'll just be able to build these, and we'll end off the stream, because we have Stardew Valley in the afternoon. Glorious and wonderful Stardew Valley. Very much looking forward to that. We are catching the legend. Or at least, we are attempting to catch the legend. We have a rainy day in spring. At level 10 fishing. So we're trying to catch it. Spring of year 1. Day 12 in the game. It's... Come on, it's... Charge! Charge! Charge, dang you! I need you to charge! and to place things. Let's actually go up and work a little bit on this steel. There's so much of this that needs to get built. And I'm not even thinking about all of the beacons that I'm going to need to actually complete these builds. Oh my goodness. And the number of modules. That's definitely going to be a thing. Bots. Hello. Like, these are charging. Bots. Like, thanks. Go. Be free! It's like they have to charge to full before they decide to go out again. And all of them. It's as if the full stack needs to charge to full before they decide, oh hey, we can now send out more stuff. Or the, whatever, 20, 40, 20 at a time that I can send out. Yeah, each one is 10, so only 20 go out at a time? If I carry more bots with me, would that not mean that I could have more going out at a time? Or, I mean, only 20 can go out at a time, but when they cease to be charged and come back, then fresh ones go out? This is why I don't really like not being able to see the current charge state of the robots. That would be a nice feature to have in the game. The ability to see the charge state of the robots. But the problem with that is that you do need some other UI to see that, because they stack in one stack and they're not treated as individual things in your inventory, but they are kept track of individually by the game. Like, each one has an energy charge. Each one is a unique entity that can seamlessly enter into an inventory and get used again. And it keeps track of each individual's current charge. So it's like, it would be nice to have a UI where we could see the individual charge of at least the ones that are in our own personal roboports. But with that, folks, we have reached the end of today's stream. What did we get done today? Well, we got stone and stone brick mining and smelting today, and provided onto my network. We got coal mining set up and put onto the network, and we have planned out and started executing upon what will be the steel build today. What are we going to do next time? We're going to build and move on towards getting into circuits through localized mining and smelting at those places to make the circuits. Something like this in here, this is a good place for circuits. Right in here with copper and iron right next to each other, and copper and iron right next to each other, etc., etc. With that, I'd like to thank you all for watching. This has been Otaku Show It. If you've enjoyed today's stream, please be sure to do all of the social and engagement stuff below the video. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you have yet to subscribe, as well as hit that great big blue join button to become an otaku member of the channel, and consider supporting on Patreon at patreon.com/otakushowit if you're so inclined and able. I will be back at the turn of the hour with more Stardew Valley. I will return tomorrow morning with more Autonauts, and I shall be back with Factorio on Sunday morning. I hope to see you all on the next one.